When international travelers plan a trip to Germany, Saarland is one of the country's most overlooked regions. So we decided to spend 24 hours exploring its capital, Saarbrücken, to see if it deserves a place on your Germany itinerary. In just one day, we'll sample the regional cuisine, wander the historic center, uncover a few unexpected surprises, and even visit one of Germany's most fascinating UNESCO World Heritage Sites. But is Saarbrücken a hidden gem or simply a pleasant stop along the way? Let's find out. Okay, so it is time to eat in Saarbrücken, and we are at Rathaus zum Stiefel. This was recommended to us to come visit this place, and I think that was a good recommendation because their food looks great. And we have a couple of traditional dishes here in Saarbrücken. I have what's called gefülltes, which means like filled. It's been filled, I guess. And so it's like a couple of dumplings, and it has like different meats inside, and it has some gravy, and it has some really good looking sauerkraut. And Betty has I think it's called Tapas. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly, but it's like shredded potatoes cooked with speck with bacon and some other kind of, I'm not sure what else is in there, but that looks really good. And she's got some apfelmus, some applesauce with it. We also have a nice looking salad, and it's a brewery, and their beer is really good. I got this beer and I've already drinking half of it. It's so delicious. So I am excited to dig into this meal, and let me just cut into my gefülltes. Oh yeah, look at these dumplings. Oh, that looks really good. That looks good. This gravy looks good. Oh my, wow. That is really good. That is quite tasty. I'm gonna try some of the sauerkraut. I'm glad we were told to come here because this is excellent. This is really good. I really like these dumplings. I like the filling inside, and that gravy is outstanding. So this is an excellent meal. I can highly recommend coming to Zum Stiefel when you're in Saarbrücken. Okay, so Betty said I have to do hers on camera, so I'm gonna try this Tapas. And it looks good. I tell you, I'm going to try it without the apfelmus. Wow, that is delicious. I mean, you know, you travel. We've been to many places in Germany, and you kind of think you've had everything. You know, we've had Labskaus and Knipp and all that, but this is so good. And it reminds me, like our neighbors, we actually live not too far from Saarbrücken, and our neighbors, we live in Rhineland-Pfalz, they make waffles, potato waffles, and it's kind of similar to this, but they're crunchier. They're much more crunchier. They're kind of cooked more in like a waffle pan. And this is a little softer, but wow, this is so good. I mean, tell you what, guten appetit. Oh, let me put a little bit of apfelmus on here. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of apfelmus, to be honest with you. Betty really likes it. To me, I could like take it or leave it, but Betty likes the apfelmus on the potato dishes. But that, my friend, is really good because the potatoes are a little bit salty, and you mix it with a little bit of that sweet applesauce. That is good. This is excellent. I really wasn't expecting to find a meal this good in Saarbrücken, but this is pretty special. Guten appetit, friend. All right, so this huge building is the Rathaus of St. Johann, and this was built at the end of the 19th century, and it is a beautiful, huge building. It has a 54-meter tower that they still have the Carillon plays there twice a day, 3:15 and 7:19 p.m. Makes really nice music. The tourist information office is in there, and they are very helpful. They will give you tons of information. They have information in English and of course German. I think Spanish and maybe other languages too. I'm not sure. Obviously French, because we are very close to the French border. But helpful, and they'll give you information on not only on the city of Saarbrücken, but also the whole region, the region of Saarland. So Saarbrücken is the capital of the German state of Saarland. They'll give you information on all of that and tell you where to go, give you maps and all that type of stuff. So this Rathaus, it's one of those buildings you got to see when you're in Saarbrücken. It is very impressive. It has, on the facade here, it has some figures that represent the important industries at the time when this building was built. For example, there's a miner, there's a tanner, an iron smelter, I think. I forget what the other ones are, but they all represent the important industries of Saarbrücken at the time. And there's also St. George, good old St. George, doing what he does best, killing a dragon there on the corner. It's a very imposing, very beautiful building here in Saarbrücken, the Rathaus of St. Johann. So it is a warm afternoon in Saarbrücken. So instead of Kaffee and Kuchen, we decided to get ice cream. And we are at Henry's Ice Manufacture, Henry's Ice Factory. And so they make the ice cream here. And we have what is called a halve becher, so a halve bowl. It has a bunch of stuff in it. I'm not really sure what all is in here, but it has ice cream and chocolate sauce and caramel sauce and sesame seeds. It's a mix, but this is, we were told this is what we have to try here. It was recommended to us, so look at that. That is very good. That is a good, lots of chocolate peanuts. That's really good. That hits the spot on a hot afternoon. And we also have a little bit of iced coffee. Also really good. When you want that coffee, but you want it cold, get some iced coffee. And we have some water and a good day to fuel up for the rest of your afternoon here in Saarbrücken. Right here, we are on the Saarbrücken Castle, and this place dates back to 999. Now, it's been renovated and remodeled several times over the centuries, and what we see now, this beautiful Baroque palace, this was built in the 18th century. The glass entrance was just added in the 20th century. Okay, so here at the Saarbrücken Castle Complex, we just went into the History Museum of the Saar, of the Saarland, and this is very interesting. They also have a section, the history of Saarland, and Saarland has a very interesting history because as it's located right on the border of Germany and France, it's kind of gone back and forth several times. Historically, most of the people here have spoken German. And Napoleon made it part of France, and then after the Franco-Prussian War, it became part of Germany. But they discovered there's a lot of coal here, so there's a lot of coal mining. So that was very vital during the Industrial Revolution in the early part of the 20th century. After World War I, it was control of it was given to the League of Nations, the forerunner to the United Nations. But France had control of the coal mines. So basically, France had the coal mines. The League of Nations controlled the rest of it. And then in 1935, they had a referendum, and like 91% of the people of Saarland elected to rejoin Germany. So it became part of Germany again. Then after World War II, of course, Germany lost. There was about a 10-year period. Saarland was an independent country. And I think at some point in the 1950s, Saarland had a national soccer team, football team, that actually played against the Bundesrepublik Deutschland. So that's a little kind of interesting history nugget I found. So very interesting. When you are in Saarbrücken, come up to the castle and go to the Saar History Museum. Okay, so I'm actually walking through the moat of the old Saarbrücken Castle. And this is part of the Saarland History Museum, and it costs €7 per person to get in. And they have a lot of really neat displays. They tell you like basically the function of the wall and how it was built and why it angles the way it does. They talk about the moat. But one thing that's really cool is on the other side, they have what is supposedly they say the oldest tennis court in the world. And I guess at a certain point when the moat was no longer needed for defensive purposes, they drained it and used it for other things. Tennis courts is one of the things they used it for. So, and they'll give you a demonstration on how they played tennis back then, like an automated, computerized display, and you can have that in English, French, or German. So that's pretty cool. You can actually play a little bit of handball there too on the computer-generated screen. And then you can go around. There's a bit of a maze underneath, so you could lose your direction a little bit because there aren't a lot of directional arrows down there. But anyway, it's really neat here in the moat, and they have display placards. There is some English, but most things are in German and French, and not everything is in English, just so you know. Okay, so it's time to eat again in Saarbrücken, and we are at Hilde and Heinz, and I guess they are characters from a German sitcom, maybe from this region. I don't know if they're known all throughout Germany, but apparently they're pretty famous here in Saarbrücken anyway. And this place you can order like tapas, like regional tapas. So we got small dishes, and we have some more of the dibbelabes like we had earlier, and we have a dumpling. It's like a gefildes, but this one has rindfleisch, or it has beef, instead of the other one had like a Leberwurst in it. But this one has beef, had pulled beef, and we have some sausages. These Wursts are supposed to be kind of spicy sausages. So, you know, there's German food's not known for being real spicy, so I'm kind of have my doubts about how spicy it is really. But this dibbelabes, this looks really good. We're going to share this. This is it's a little more solid, more together. That is, I would say, it's good. Both of them are really good. I don't know which one I like better. This is more, I would say, more like a hash brown. The other one was kind of more shredded. This is more like a solid beef. That looks good. Oh man. Let me turn this around so you can see the dumpling. Oh man, that is really good. That is really good. Really good. I'm gonna try a sausage, a little sauce there. Oh, that is spicy. It's really good. Try some sauerkraut. It's very sour, sauerkraut. So this is good. We might order more, I don't know, but this is a great start. It's very delicious. I'm really surprised how spicy the sausage is, to be honest with you, but it's really nice. I like it. Great dinner. All right, so I'm here at Basilica of St. Johann, and this is a really nice red sandstone church. It really contrasts nicely with the buildings around here. It's really quite pretty. It's supposed to have a really beautiful organ inside that we wanted to go inside and check out. Unfortunately, the church is closed for renovation. We can't go inside. But what I want to talk about right now is right there, over there. The square is so lively, and everybody's just having a great time. They're sitting around and they're watching the World Cup game. This is Brazil versus Japan. I think right now it's tied up 1-1. And everybody's just having a good time and hanging out, and it's really lively. There's a lot of Brazil fans here. Haven't seen any Japanese fans, but Brazil has a big contingent here. But can you imagine how lively this is going to be when Germany plays? But I bet you that's going to be pretty wild. But it's such a nice evening here in Saarbrücken. We had a nice meal walking around. The weather is just perfect. We've had a pretty bad heat wave for a while, but now it is beautiful. It's real lovely, and we're just having a great night walking around here in Saarbrücken. All right, so this guy behind me on the wall, this is one of the most infamous characters in all of Saarbrücken history. So back in the early Middle Ages, during hard times when people couldn't afford bread, he was the baker, and they called him the Miserly baker because he wouldn't help anybody out. He wouldn't help anybody with any bread, the poor folk or nothing. So people would come to him begging for bread, and he was like, nope. But then when the ladies would come and say, hey, please, baker, I need some bread, he would be like, all right. You know, you don't have money. You know what you can give me for some bread, right? So, you know, he wasn't a very nice guy. And so this went on. Now, eventually word got out. The Burgermeisterin, or what, I don't know exactly what her position was, but she heard about this. She's like, I'm going to catch this guy. So she put on clothes. She looked like an old beggar, right? And she went to the baker. And she said, "Oh, please, sir, I need some bread. You know, I'm starving." And he's like, "All right." He goes, "I'll give you some bread. You know what you can give me for some bread." He said, "I got you, you son of a gun." He says, "You trying to solicit prostitution for bread." So she arrested him. They put him in the stockade. They locked him up in that thing where it's called, I don't know, where his heads and his hands are locked up. And they whipped him. And they whipped him and they held him there for several days. Then they let him go. And then a few days later, he just died, right? So to remind everybody to be nice to the poor folk, they made this, and this was a spout. And all the sewage of the town, or not all the sewage, but the sewage of the town came out of his mouth. And that was to remind people to be nice. And it ran into the Saar River, which is right down here. When people would cross by, they would see him and all that nasty stuff coming out of his mouth. Like, I'm not gonna be like that. So everybody, hopefully, people learned their lesson and they weren't mean to the poor folks. Okay, so it is Kaffee and Kuchen time in Saarbrücken, and the place to go, we were told, is Cafe Lolo, and that is where we are at. This place has been here for a long time, recommended by a lot of people. Now, their specialty, it's called Butterkuchen or butter cake, and we've been told we have to get this. People have described it, they said it's so good. We actually tried to get some yesterday and they were sold out. We were told yesterday that you might be a good idea to reserve some if you want some, because I guess they sell out every day. So anyway, Butterkuchen has some toasted almonds on top, and obviously I think it has a lot of butter in it. It looks kind of, I don't know, it looks kind of bready. So let me tell you something. It doesn't really look like much, I have to admit. When I saw it, I was like, this is what everybody's so excited about, but it's really good. It's really good. It's very moist, nice and sweet, crispy and crunchy. And yeah, I can see why this is so popular, because this is really good. So when you come to Saarbrücken, you got to come by Cafe Lolo, but be careful, they might sell out. Come by Cafe Lolo and get yourself a piece of Butterkuchen. And there's two locations. So we're at the original location, which is in like the, I think they call it the Altstadt, the old city, closer to the Saarbrücken Castle. And there's another location like downtown, like right in the city center, that is inside a bookstore, the Talia bookstore, and it's upstairs. So two locations there. We went by there yesterday and they were sold out. This main location is closed on Monday. So anyway, Cafe Lolo and Saarbrücken, and come get yourself some Butterkuchen. All right, so this is the Ludwigskirche, or the Ludwigskirche of Saarbrücken. And this beautiful church, built in the 1700s, it is supposed to be like the third most important Baroque church in all of Germany, only after the beautiful Frauenkirche in Dresden and the Miserly in Hamburg. So the pictures I've seen look absolutely stunning. Now it's closed, and we knew it was going to be closed today, and that's okay. So we're planning on coming back tomorrow and checking out the interior. The interior looks stunning, but I just read a note on the entryway that said it's closed due to a lot of people, I guess a lot of the staff are sick right now, so they have very limited hours, and it looks like it's only opened Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So I don't know, doesn't look like we're going to be able to go inside on this trip, but anyway, pictures I've seen looks absolutely stunning. I really want to go inside. That's one of my biggest disappointments of this trip. The Ludwigskirche here in Saarbrücken. When you're here, you got to come try to check it out, but and hopefully we get inside. But right now, it's not looking too promising. And it's in a beautiful Baroque square. I mean, the buildings all around here are nice, beautiful Baroque buildings from the 1700s. So it's really in a very pleasant atmosphere. Out back, there's a restaurant, and right now they have big screens up showing the World Cup games and people sitting around having a nice time in like a little beer garden. So it's a really nice location, very beautiful area, and I hope we get to go inside tomorrow. Okay, it is time to eat here in Saarbrücken, and we are at Kalinsky Wurst Wirtschaft, and they are award-winning for their currywurst. And they have several different varieties, normal currywurst, and they have currywurst with cheese. They have like some French influence, and they have some different types. So we have one normal currywurst, and this is with rot or with red sausage, and it's supposed to be a little bit spicy. And we also have Schwenkbraten and curry sauce, and Schwenkbraten is like a roast. And so this is with curry sauce as well. So he recommended I get this, asked him which one to try and have a couple of rolls. So without further ado, let's give it a try. Looks good. That is really good. I mean, it's the curry sauce is really good. I'm gonna try this one. It's supposed to be a little bit spicy. Well, I tell you, it's very good. I mean, I really like currywurst. Currywurst is a real nice dish, especially to pick up for a snack. Is there anything really special about this currywurst? I don't know. I mean, it's good. It's tasty. I don't know if it's better than any other currywurst I've had, but they're all pretty good. It's tasty. Maybe you could try some of the other brands, but Kalinski is not a bad choice for currywurst when you are in Saarbrücken. All right, so it's another hot day, so we decided to get some more ice cream. We went back to Henry's, and this time we just got like traditional balls of ice cream. We have hazelnut, and kokos stracciatella, so coconut stracciatella. Oh, that's delicious. That's really good. I really like that. Oh, that's good. That's very tasty. They've won a lot of awards for their ice cream, and this is good. I can see why. We always try to get pistachio. They do not have pistachio. I'm not sure. They do have a very limited selection, but I can definitely recommend when you're in Saarbrücken to come over to Henry's and get yourself a nice cup of ice cream. You can get it in a cone too. So we just toured the Völklingen Ironworks, huge ironworks factory. It's a World Heritage Site. This place is massive, and it's very cool. I mean, you go through the whole process of how it worked, and like the thousands of people who worked here. Massive. It was built like over 100 years ago, and it closed, and I can't remember exactly when it closed, but they were going to destroy it. It's right on the outskirts of Saarbrücken. They were going to destroy it, and then at some point they said, you know, well, let's preserve it. And I believe it is the largest preserved ironworks factory in the entire world, and it's the only one that's a World Heritage Site. So you can walk through. They give you an audio guide, and it just seems like you can walk for miles. Now I'll tell you, it does get confusing for us anyway. It was kind of hard for us to follow at a certain point where to go and all this kind of stuff, but it's really cool. And especially if you like factories, machinery, and things like that. Like my dad would love this place. If you really like that. It's a cool. It really is a must visit site. And you know, Europe's not all just castles and cathedrals and beer halls and vineyards. You can come visit a factory too. It's pretty cool. All right. So, is Saarbrücken worth visiting? We'd say yes, but with the right expectations. If it's your first trip to Germany, there are other destinations we'd put higher on the list. But if you've already experienced Germany's famous castles, cathedrals, and charming half-timbered towns, Saarbrücken and the nearby Völklingen Ironworks offers a completely different perspective on the country. Come for the regional food, the relaxed atmosphere, and the fascinating industrial heritage. It may not be Germany's most spectacular city, but it tells an important story that many travelers miss.